Students, yay! I'm back. We got another part to read. This is part 3. We're going to get through it pretty quick. Well, I hope we do. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Depends on you and how much you talk. Here's the thing. The first word is obtain. Obtain means to get something that you want or need. An example would be, how would you obtain information about a club you want to join? I would obtain information about a club I want to join by asking teachers. That's what I would do at school. I mean, there's a lot of ways. You could ask the principals. You could ask secretaries. Actually, secretary in the front office is probably the number one person to ask. But you could ask other friends. There's lots of things you could say. Okay. Next word is focus. The word is focus. The focus means the center of interest, attention, or activity. It's that center point, right? So images is pretty easy. The way you can tell in an image if something is the focus is that you look at it first. First thing you look at in an image is the focus. Okay, that's the point of it. Free teen class, forget you. Okay, what was the focus of your last presentation? The focus of my last presentation, this is the one I made, was the video. Okay, you could do anything. There could have been the picture, could have been the voice of the presenter, who knows. Okay, now last time we were talking about the coach and how he holds the boys to a pretty high standard, so we're going to continue to read about the coach and his players. Okay, he's all over the field. This is the coach during the practice, despite having a hip and knee replacement in the last few years. He's been teaching at Lewiston High for 42 years and is regarded as a second father by many players. When he isn't clapping for good plays or pointing out bad ones, McGraw is taking boys aside to ask them about filling out paperwork for the team, to remind them to get physicals, and to offer advice that helps both on and off the field. You don't have to take on the whole world, you know, McGraw said quietly to Joseph Kiliulwa, a 17-year-old from the Democratic Republic of Congo who had just tried to dribble through the entire defense. For some of them, taking on the world is what they know. Many of the Somalis fled a horrific civil war to live for years with their families in teeming refugee camps. So teeming is another way to say overflowing. Okay, it means they were too full. So Lewiston, a long struggling city in remote Maine, became an unlikely destination that offered safety, affordable housing, and low-wage jobs. Word of that spread from early arrivals, and the African immigrant population swelled. Life can be hard, even here, and the children sometimes struggle to obtain soccer equipment. Some share cleats with their brothers, others do not have shin pads, so they stuff their socks with newspapers. One player showed up for tryouts with holes in his cleats and peeling shoes. Ouch! You can't do that, assistant coach Dan Gist told the boy. The next day, Gist handed him a new pair. It's like one of the kids, he said. Would you let one of your kids play like that? No way. That relationship extends throughout this soccer family, beginning with McGraw, who said he had dreamed of the state title since he began coaching. The dream became a reality when Abdow, this year's co-captain, scored the only goal in the Class A championship victory over Scarborough. On the field, Abdow is a quiet leader, calm and confident. At home, he is one of 9 children who live in a 4-bedroom apartment that is decorated and furnished with the look of their faraway homeland in the Horn of Africa. He's talking about Somalia. Okay. Excerpts from the Quran hang in the doorway. Colorful fabric covers nearly all of the walls in the living room, where the family, all barefoot, talks excitedly about the soccer team. Abder wears a makawis, a sarong-like garment that hangs from his waist to his ankles. So it's like a really long looking thing. You know what? Let's just look it up real quick. Makawis. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're kind of like long, like nice looking clothing, right? For men, obviously. So the reason why you would want something like this is to protect your legs from dust and chafing and the heat, basically. Helps with humidity. So it's a really useful garment in Somalia. I'm not sure how useful it would be where they live now in Maine, right? So that's what he's wearing. That's that. That's the picture, right? His blue T-shirt reads, "Youth of today, leaders of tomorrow." For Abdou, the focus is on school and soccer, and he takes his job as co-captain seriously. "You're supposed to be a role model," he says. "Kids are going to look up to you." That's pretty practical. Okay. Why is life difficult for many of the African soccer players? So, if you didn't figure it out, they're poor. It is because they are poor and have few possessions. Okay. How have the coaches helped the players succeed on the team? Underline details that support your answer. So we're talking about coaches, so we got to go back up to the first page. Okay. We're going to start here in 21. Okay, this is the coaches. When he isn't clapping for good plays or pointing out bad ones, McGraw is taking boys aside to ask about filling out paperwork for the team, to remind them to get physicals, and to offer advice that helps both on and off the field. "You don't have to take on the whole world, you know," McGraw said quietly to Joseph Kalilwa, a 17-year-old from the Democratic Republic of Congo who had just tried to dribble through the entire defense. For some of them, taking on the world is what they know. Many of the Somalis fled a horrific civil war. Lewiston, a long struggling city and remote. Let's skip that part. Life can be hard out here. Oh, we need to extend this right here. The boys are putting stuff in their shins. The coach says you can't do that, and then he buys them a new pair. Okay. So what we could say here is, how have the coaches helped the players' team? They offer advice, reminders, and support. They help the boys with equipment. Okay. And this last one, how does Abdou's family keep a connection to their African culture? So I'm going to focus a couple things. You have to write in a complete sentence. So they have the Quran, they have the clothing. So what you need is specific. That isn't a word that makes sense. Specific examples to get full points. So I gave you two options. You just have to write them in a complete sentence. Okay, if you do that stuff, you'll get full points. And I'll talk to you next time.